Welcome to MarTalks, the #1 podcast for e-commerce and marketing applications. MarTalks is devoted to covering the latest technology developments that drive the global commerce ecosystem from advertising to last mile. Enjoy all of our content at rosensteingroup.com/MarTalks-podcast.
Well, we're here with Yoav Kutner, founder of OroCommerce. Yoav, you're being very brave. You're talking to me off the cuff, but on the record.
On the record.
How's your show been so far?
So far, so good. Mostly existing customers and prospects that we're already talking to. Otherwise, great kind of coming together of the e-commerce B2B minds to solve problems together. So far, so good.
I was blown away by how quickly it was oversold.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's their very first year, and clearly people are looking to learn a heck of a lot more about B2B commerce than they knew.
Yep.
So, what has been your input from the customers that you've seen here? What have they been looking to do?
I think what they mainly want to still do, which is kind of funny for a lot of technologists, learning that the B2B kind of space is about 5 to 10 years behind technology where we are all thinking we should bring them to. So still a lot of automation, a lot of digitization of business processes, and actually getting them to digital. So kind of a lot of them are still in the baby steps versus what we think they all should do, which is AI and composable and everything else. We're talking about a lot of baby steps and really getting them into the digital realm of running their business online.
Well, I certainly, I'm not going to name names. Well, I am. I certainly know SAP has always said, well, all the B2B commerce is going to take place within the platform. That's baloney.
Yep.
That's baloney. So what has been your experience kind of reprogramming those folks from that messaging?
So absolutely. I think the best way to kind of refer to what we do for our customers is creating the layer on top of the ERP. So actually exposing the ERP to both their customers, their sales teams, marketers, etc. So we're really a lot of time not even referenced as e-commerce layer. We're referenced as the layer above the ERP that exposes everything, allows customers to actually act on their data, review their data, change what they need to do with their orders and stuff like that, allowing salespeople to actually do work without breaking the ERP workflows that somebody created 20 years ago. So actually allowing them to operate with a digital platform and having their customers get a much better user experience now.
Well, the sales agent, I've heard from a couple of chief digital officers at this show that they're experiencing pushback from sales executives not wanting to adopt the modern B2B commerce solutions. What would you say to them? What's in it for them?
Well, I think, again, like I said, it's about the user experience that they can now deliver both to their customers and their sales team. And it's something that a lot of these companies are lagging behind other companies in other spaces. Definitely allowing your customers to self-interact with the company, get self-serve kind of features that they need in order to be productive in communicating with the company they're buying from. So if it's checking on an order status or putting another order in or checking an inventory in case they want to build a PO, like a large PO for a big project. Getting pricing for different projects in one platform without having to pick up the phone or send an email to a sales rep to get those figures out. I think this is like small steps that we kind of adding all together. But like I said, for me, it's definitely the user experience that now you can deliver to your buyers as a B2B seller. And the feedback that you'll get from them is that they'll continue being your customer. If you are right now, if you're not considering like any digital platform for your customers, you are in a risk of losing them in the near future.
Customers, B2B customer engagement online has skyrocketed. I mean, it's I believe it's tripled just in the last 2 years.
2 to 3 years,
yeah. Which is, I'm shocked that so many companies haven't adopted a modern stack. Now, when you talk about exposing the data in the ERP, one of the big problems that customers are experiencing with digital transformation and modern commerce is that siloed data. How do you overcome that?
So we're a very flexible solution in terms of the data kind of architecture that we have. So we can actually get any structure of the data that they have in the ERP. And we're talking about like very archaic systems sometimes, AS400s, DOS systems, etc. Sometimes it's serialized data. And we're able to put it in a fashion that is actually accessible, both for reporting, both for accessing by the customers, by the sales reps, etc. And by delivering this kind of layer on top of what they don't want to touch usually, which is the ERP, we actually do work with the data that we get. Plus, we bring a lot of new data into the system. So we can actually send it back to the ERP for any kind of business intelligence software, AI systems that have to operate on the ERP level, that can get a lot more data from us that we wouldn't have before.
So in this day and age where so many digital officers and chief technical officers are getting pressure from their board to adopt modern AI solutions, when they haven't even modernized their commerce stack, what advantages do they have to first adopting a modern commerce layer like Oro to prepare them for that AI transformation?
Great question. So I think by having a platform like OroCommerce involved, we can move very fast compared to like an ERP and especially old software and stuff like that. So we can really kind of test the waters, see what works before you have to go implement it all the way down. And that's something we do with our customers all the time. So we kind of go and look what's their biggest pain points right now with their customer experience. We kind of try to kind of solve for that and learn, and then get feedback from customers on an ongoing basis, and being able to kind of change and adapt to what the actual customers are asking for. If you know anything about the old systems, that will take you years before. We do it in weeks at best. We have a lot of customers that have a revolving release schedules. So every 2 weeks, they release new features for their customers. We're also able to kind of target specific customers from beta users, get feedback from them before they release it to everybody else. So again, using modern software allows you to kind of test the waters a lot faster, get feedback, and adjust based on what you learn from your customers in real time.
Well, it's been an interesting year in software sales in general. It's been a little bit slower, and I think that's because of I think that it's just been because of the rush to and the hype around AI. I think solutions that are proven, like Oro, obviously, have kind of lost their luster in some of the customers' eyes. And I think it's important to remember that there's more challenges with adopting AI, especially building your own generative AI, than adopting a modern commerce stack that's going to solve problems that you have today that are going to result in higher revenues and higher conversion rates. But from your perspective, if you're looking at whoever that's here that's going to be driving that change, whether it be adopting a new commerce platform, adopting a new AI platform, whatever it be, what do you think is the biggest impediment that businesses and distributors are having right now in adopting technology?
So I think, again, first of all, it's kind of understanding how you digitize what you actually have to do. So the work that has to be done. If you're just jumping into AI, if you train the AI model on stuff that you don't know how it should work, is the problem. So what we're seeing with the adoption of our customers, for example, we spend a few months with them digitizing their main processes, business processes, both front end and back end. And by that, we're allowing the AI agent that we have built into OroCommerce actually replace those manual processes that we built for them with an AI implementation of that. And that allows them to get to market with something that they know that works the way they want it to. Imagine testing that with an AI agent without understanding what you want the AI agent to do. So by actually establishing a digital process before running and automating it with AI, that's the biggest lesson I can share with everybody, because our customers many times don't know how and what they even want to digitize before they go digital. So a lot of what we do is actually explain to them how a digital platform can serve them. So them rethinking their existing processes, and do I need to get a fax and pass it to Tim from accounting first or not? So just understanding how we can optimize their processes using digital, AI comes naturally into it. There's no transition. We have right now our smart order and smart agent that work seamlessly into our application, but they work for our customers because we already know the processes that we should train them on before they start guessing. If that makes sense.
It does. Does Oro have an integrated OMS?
An OMS, we have an OMS, but again, I won't say that that's what we specialize in. Usually we come to a much more mature companies where they already have an ERP implementation, they have an OMS management, order management system there already, warehouse management, but we actually do a lot of the heavy lifting. For example, for a lot of our customers that have multiple warehouses, Oro is the one decides where to funnel the order to, what the warehouse gets their orders and stuff like that. So we act a lot more than just the e-commerce platform. We actually act like on the top of everything that's going on in the company. We have a customer that has over 6 ERPs integrated into Oro because of acquisitions, etc. So Oro is basically acting as the order management system, right, and decides where to funnel every order and actually every line item. So Oro knows where the best pricing is and what ERP, even though there might be duplicate across the board. Then from all the acquisition, they have about 40 warehouses. Oro also knows where to send the actual orders so they get fulfilled from the best warehouse. And all that logic is built on our layer. So instead of going and implementing an ERP for all the 6 different companies that they acquired, there's one basically order management system, which is Oro sitting on top and funneling the orders and warehouse kind of orders into the right place automatically.
Fabulous. Well, we've got a lot of partners here as well for digital transformation. I hope that you have a wonderful show. I hope that this year continues to be a record year for you and you set new records next year.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to MarTalks, the #1 podcast for e-commerce and marketing applications. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and while you're at it, leave a rating and review. To find out more about how the Rosenstein Group can help you find the right leaders for your client development teams in MarTech and e-commerce, please visit our website at rosensteingroup.com.